They will know regret. No turning back. Face oblivion. No forgiveness. My arrows always find their marks.
What is up guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to play AP Nuke Varus. Now this is a champion that can one-shot squishy champions, bruisers and even tanks. And I'm gonna explain exactly how it works. So first of all, we will be starting with the W. It's going to make your auto attacks deal bonus magic damage. So it's nice to have some damage early on as well with your auto attacks, even though we are going AP. And then the passive part, as you can see right here, is that when you auto attack something, then you apply blight stacks. Up to a maximum of 3 stacks per target. And you can detonate these stacks with your abilities, right? And for every stack that you detonate, you are going to deal damage based on their maximum health. That's why you can also one-shot bruisers and tanks. And then there's an active part to this ability that a lot of people forget. And if you don't abuse this, then you're going to lose a lot of your damage. So when you activate your W, guys, it's going to stay activated for a short duration. And during that time, it's going to empower your Q, so your sniping ability, making it deal bonus damage based on the missing health that can increase based on the time that you are channeling your Q. So when you combine these two abilities together, that is what allows you to one-shot almost everyone. Like if you can manage to get 3 blight stacks onto the target and then a fully channeled Q, that is going to one-shot any squishy in the game. That's what makes this so fun to play. And then you have the E right here. This is like an AoE ability that can also, of course, activate the blight stacks or detonate them. It applies grievous wounds when they're standing on the field. And we're going to pick up a nice kill right here, solo kill. You can see this is a champion that has a lot of damage even in the early game, as long as you make sure to play around the blight stacks. And when you kill a minion, guys, you get some extra attack speed with your passive. And if you kill an enemy champion, then you get a lot of attack speed. Helps a lot with extended fights, but also helps you, last it a lot more easier when you get bonus attack speed. But that E also slows, so I actually like to use it in the lane, when I see them proc or pop a potion, then you can drop that E right below them, so when they're standing on that field, they're going to get a lot less healing. But since it also slows, it can also make it easier for you to land your Q. So you want to channel your Q to the maximum for the highest possible damage, but also keep in mind that it's going to deal less damage if it has to travel through all the targets first. So if you want the highest possible damage from your Q, make sure there are 3 blight stacks on the target, and then make sure that the target is actually the first one you're going to hit with your Q. Because in the mid to late game, that's where the fun part begins with this nuke build. You will start one-shotting everything, every AD carry, every mage, just everything will just get wiped out. But if you use your Q without any blight stacks, it's going to deal 0 damage. It's not going to deal any damage whatsoever. Viego coming in for a gank. Yeah, I'm 100% dead right here. Got kind of trolled by the Viego. I don't think we should have went for it. But you see, it's in the early game, right? We barely have any AP items and it's already dealing a lot of damage. So just wait and see until we actually have AP items. That's when you really get to see that insane burst damage you have with this champion when you are building AP. And he's actually hidden OP, guys. He is hidden OP, so if you want some free elo and also a lot of fun, because nobody does or knows the damage this champion does as AP. Because no one plays it. There's only a few people playing it and they have actually insane win rates. And then you have your ultimate up, so it's another skill shot like your Q. And if you hit somebody with it, it's going to CC them. And it will also automatically apply the maximum amount of blight stacks. And that makes everything a lot more convenient because then you don't have to like auto attack the target 3 times afterwards. Because they will already have the maximum amount of stacks, and then you can just channel your Q to the full, release it, and bam, one shot. Later on in the game when you have AP. But this blight stack passive is also the reason that you're running Hail of Blades. Because like you get 3 quick auto attacks right, so you can insta tag up that passive with the blights and then just proc with your Q or your E. But most of the time your early game is going to be passive. Really unfortunate that one missed. But guys, remember, you have to activate your W. Another Lee Sin gang coming in. Imagine if I had a blasting mode right here, this guy would have gotten one shot. But remember, for the highest possible damage, you have to activate your W while channeling your Q. Like, you can activate your W at the start of your Q animation, but while it's channeling, like afterwards, you cannot do it. So you either have to activate the W before you start channeling, or right at the moment when you channel. Because that is what allows your arrow to deal damage based on the missing health. And it's going to scale up depending on how long you're channeling it until the maximum point. Bot lane is not looking very good, but if you want to push out the wave, then remember the blight stacks also works on the minions, so you can just, you know, stack up the stacks on all the minions and then just a fully charged Q. And the wave will be gone later on in the game. But what really helps with the wave clear is the fact that you get that attack speed when you kill a target. And Lee Sin is toast, not sure what he was going for, but we'll take it. And of course picking up another kill with that flash ultimate, so you can see the Callista right under the tower, then bam. Easy stacks, easy kill, and that's another shutdown. Getting a lot of gold, the first item has to be the Nash's Tooth, because you're not only ability based, but you also deal a lot of damage with your auto attacks. And Nash's Tooth is an item that gives you damage for your auto attacks, but also your abilities, so that's the perfect purchase. The good thing about this build is that because of your W passive, not the blight stacks, but like when you auto attack you deal bonus magic damage. It makes it so you still have damage even if you miss your abilities, like you can still deal damage with your auto attacks alone. But it can be really annoying in some matchups where you do not want to pick Varus. Some of them being something like a Yasuo or Aurelia, like that's going to be a complete disaster. Like assassins and champions like the Yasuo, like hypermobile champions like the Yasuo and the Aurelia, do not pick Varus into that. Like he has the wind wall, and also Aurelia and Yasuo in general just too mobile for you to hit your skill shots. You have to go ahead and help. I am trying to stack the blight stacks first before I pop the abilities. Unless you have the ultimate up, because then it's going to do it for you. But that's like your goal. In a fight, like when the fight starts, you have to like auto attack them a couple times. Like maybe you can E first to slow them, then auto attack them until they are fully stacked with your passive, like W passive. Then a fully channeled Q should wipe them out. But you will really start noticing the damage difference as soon as you have like one completed AP item. In this case, that is going to be the Nash's Tooth, because that's where your damage really starts hitting hard. So you play him like a, sniper. He's a sniper, but also a champion that has to like get into range sometimes just to apply the stacks if you don't have the ultimate up. But because he deals so much damage based on the missing health and maximum health at the same time with your abilities, this is what allows him to one-shot even bruisers and tanks. Something a lot of other champions cannot do. And one more cool thing, guys, something I have not seen any other champion do is that, for example, if you fall behind in the mid game, you lose your inhibitor at like what, 20 minutes or so. Varus is the only champion I can think of that can actually one-shot the super minions without any ultimate. Like you apply 3 blight stacks on the super minion that spawns when the inhibitor is down, and then one fully channeled Q is going to one-shot it. That's insane. Like, I don't know any other champion who can do this while being behind. And when I say that, I mean a Varus that is not fit. Like 0-3 Varus, for example, he can do that. Like, that is nuts. Just taking out a super minion like it's nothing. You see the Q barely dealing any damage to the minions if you don't have any blight stacks. And that's probably a good thing, because otherwise that would be really OP. And actually Varus was able to do that in the past. Instead of AP though, you used to build him 80, like flat armor pin items, and his arrow was a lot faster as well. So you could like snipe people. One more important thing, guys, that I not mentioned yet, is the fact that when you proc or detonate the blight stacks on the champions or epic monsters, it's going to reduce the cooldown of your basic abilities. This is what allows you to keep going in the fights later on, when the team fights and stuff start happening. Because you can see when you like activate your W, it has a pretty high cooldown. But it's going to get reduced really fast when you start proccing the blight stacks on the champions. Oh well, that was a nice Kalista ultimate, but we got the Drake, so that's worth it, that's worth it. Sitting on a ton of gold. But it looks like I am not allowed to base yet because they're 3-man mid for whatever reason. Remember, only activate your W when you're sure you're going to like all in the opponent. Because it's missing health damage. Remember, you need all of your damage. Did you guys see that damage on the Asir? Like with the channel Q? That is one AP item I have, by the way. Just wait. Just wait until we are getting stuff like the Death Cap. He's getting one shot. Actually really dumb of me staying there. But I could have killed it easily. The problem is that I did not have enough mana for a Q. Even E, anything. If I had mana enough for any of these abilities, then I could have killed it easily on the tower, so that was kind of my fault, I should not have done that. But now I have the Riftmaker. Lots of damage in extended fights with the auto attacks, but also for the burst damage, because you get bonus true damage now. Another thing that makes it possible to one-shot tanks and bruisers as well, so this item is absolutely crucial. Do not build Luden's Tempest. because this item actually helps so much in fights. But this is where you start spiking in damage. You have level 11 as well. So the way your ultimate scales, guys, is 100% of your AP. So that's going to be really insane the moment you just have a little bit of AP, but also when you have stuff like the death cap, because it's 100% scaling based on your AP. And the base damage of it is already decent as well. Unfortunate for the Aurelia. Nice Azir ultimate, but that guy is going down. You see, guys, you can also do the quick Q with a activated W, but you not have the maximum damage. In order to get that, you have to let your Q channel fully. But we also have a Lulu that's also really nice to have when you're playing an auto attack based champion. Also, guys, Varus AP is actually really OP. He has a high win rate, but because almost no one plays it, like most people don't even know the damage he can do. So if you play him in your games and you suddenly start one-shotting a bruiser or something, you just watch people being completely confused. They have no idea what's going on. It's the amount of damage that people do not expect. So if you really want to abuse him, it has to be now. Because I actually think that people will start picking him up soon. That was a bad ultimate, but it's whatever. I don't think Lulu should go in the tower. But it looks like she actually managed to save the vehicle, so worth it. Aurelia being Aurelia. Really fun to play against, I'm pretty sure. We'll just keep pushing it out. Guys, look at that damage on the Shen. That was without my W activated. Look at that burst damage. And I still don't even have a death cap yet. Now that guy almost got one shot. Imagine if I had my W activated, he could actually have died. But you can see, I am not joking when I say this champion can actually one-shot tanks. But that's fun and all. Just don't forget that he's still an AD carry, you know? He has the downsides of an AD carry. In this case, he's very squishy. And he's immobile. So that means that you'll get camped a lot. And also in fights, you'll get focused down. In this case, Samira managed to clean up. Which is a really good thing. But if you don't have any flash or mobility spells up, you'll get focused down and you'll die. That's why when I play Varus, I always play him with Ghost and Flash. In the mid lane, I do that with every single immobile champion that has a similar playstyle. Because otherwise you're going to get abused in fights. You'll have a hard time getting into the fight, but also escaping from the fight. Like, do not go Ignite. That's such a waste. You can go TP, that's fine. You can also go Exhaust if you're playing against a lot of assassins. Do not go Ignite. Because most of the time you won't even be within range when you start one-shotting people. And if you are within range, then you'll be within range of the opponents too, and they can easily take you down. Easy one shot on the Kalista. And that was another one shot on the support as well. You see the damage coming in. We have the Sock Shoes, we have a Large Rod, but we're sitting on 2 core items, the Rift Maker and the Nash's Tooth. And then of course we have the Sock Shoes to like amplify the damage with the flat magic pen. And that Lee Sin also getting bursted down. You see, that's why the fun part begins, guys. I can promise you'll have a lot of fun with this playstyle. Just make sure that you're actually not picking him into very bad matchups like the Yasuo or the Yone, for example, or Aurelia, Assassins, and so on. But almost every single game I have been blind picking him because people don't expect him to go mid. They always think that it's 80C Varus. I don't know why I said 80k, but 80C Varus, so you don't get counterpicked. And that's another easy kill on the Azir. So you'll probably end up blind picking a lot as a mid laner, but you just have to make sure that your AD carry is close to being last pick, because then when you log in Varus, people will think that you're playing ADC Varus. So they almost never try to counterpick. And that's an advantage you have right now, but later on when everybody starts playing it, then of course they're going to know. So if you want to abuse it, it has to be now, guys. It's really fun to play and no one expects the damage. Lots of ARM happening topside. But my team got all this under control, so I did not have to pop the ghost. That was just for safety in case I needed to kill a low HP target. So right here, guys, the Kalista. If I hit her with the ultimate, I immediately press the W and then the Q and she's one shot. So like guaranteed one shot. Maximum health damage with 100% AP scaling on the ultimate, with missing health damage with the W activated. That scales based on the channeling time of your Q. That's enough to one-shot anyone right now. Like anyone on that team will get blasted by one full combo. You see how fast that Shen went down? That wasn't even a full combo, but he still went down that fast. Just got blasted. That's why this is so fun to play, especially when people don't know what he does yet. Just the important thing here, guys, is that a lot of people forget to activate his W when you use the Q arrow. Like in an all-in combo. They just look at the cooldown and think it would be a waste to use it, but remember the cooldown will be lowered when you detonate the blight stacks. We are not ending yet, we want to have some fun. Azir is down, but we are going down as well. This is like the super fun part when you play Varus, so it'll be a bit sad if the game ended already, because this is why you really start noticing the damage you can deal, and also when you start one-shotting tanks and watching them being completely confused at what's going on. And he's now banned. People don't expect it to be Varus mid when you lock it in, so you'll rarely get counterpicked. But if you're playing lower elos where people like to play stuff like the Yasuo a lot, then just ban the Yasuo. I can recommend picking him into mages or any immobile champion or low mobility champion. Assassins and hyper mobile champion is a no-go. unless you're very confident with the champion and yourself as a player. But my teammates are doing really well this game, and this Samira is just going completely ham, so that is pretty much it for the AP Nuke Varus mid, guys. I highly recommend that you guys try it out. It is so fun to play and it's really strong as well. But that was it for the video, so thanks for watching as usual. I really hope this was helpful and see you all in the next one.